When you live at the bottom, you can't be smart. You can only be obedient. I used to think that being intelligent was a bad thing. Not because I wasn't intelligent, but because I got punished every time I tried to be. I got laughed at for pronouncing words properly, got beat for speaking like I thought I could be something, got called too proud, too no, too stubborn, just because I didn't know how to dim my light properly. I came home once from school top of my class, not like it mattered. My uncle beat me up because the front cover of an old textbook was torn. Textbook that was passed down like an heirloom, just because I had to pass it down too. And that moment taught me something, that success don't matter when your surroundings is in survival mode. In survival mode, nobody cares about your intelligence. They only care about your obedience. I hated school, not because I couldn't learn, but because I didn't respect what I was being taught. My teachers didn't look like they believed in what they were teaching. Most of them were just surviving. They taught from fear, not from knowledge. I remember one time in primary school, my teacher came to the class and then called out names of some students who apparently were the ones who didn't do well in an English test. And then he called me out too. And I was the best in the class, and then he brought out a cane, and then, the rest of the story is Africa. And we were flogged mercilessly. And then I looked at him, I'm like, and he could see in my eyes like, dude, why, what did I do wrong? And he said to me that the reason why he's punishing me was because he thought my approach was wrong. That in class I'm always making a lot of noise, but I still turn out to be the best in the class, that this is not going to serve me in the future, that in the future when I get to high school, I would suffer from that. And that really rubbed me off wrongly, because I was a kid who learned more from conversation as opposed to reading a book. I want to talk to people, I want to get into your head. So whenever I'm in a class and you teach, it stays. As long as I'm interested, it sticks. And when exam comes, I'm always doing well, so it really messed me up as a kid and just further pushed my point on why be intelligent if you're going to still get punished for it. It was weird, but that's Africa, and that's the world that we lived in. And the church, that's where I saw the most plagiarism I've ever seen. Pastors copying other pastors, doctrine recycled, vision borrowed, and they tell us that they're called by God, when all they did is just copy, paste, and perform. No originality, no divine encounter, just templates and theatrics. And somehow they made us believe that questioning it was rebellion, like God was so fragile that he couldn't handle our questions. But I've learned something, that obedience without understanding is slavery. The Bible says obedience is better than sacrifice. But how do you sacrifice correctly without being obedient to your own spirit? That verse has been used to beat our people into submission, but not to the Creator, to the colonizers, and sometimes to our own traumatized elders. I'm not against God. I'm against manipulation. I'm against recycled trauma dressed up as culture. I'm against being punished for shining. And I get it now. They didn't punish me because I was wrong. They punished me because I reminded them of the dreams that they buried. I'm not sorry for speaking differently. I'm not sorry for thinking differently. I'm not even sorry for being different. My brightness is not rebellion. It is revelation. And if you're being punished for your light, know this. You weren't being disobedient. You're being called. And you have to choose whether to keep dimming for their comfort or to start blazing for your own freedom. I've made my choice. Watch me burn for purpose and not for shame. Thanks for your time. And stay safe, because I love you.